You indicate that there are 5 tips for keeping memory sharp. Could you share those?
Sure thing. And these are 5 things that will surely help anyone that's concerned with their brain health. People want to get more capacity out of their memory. They might start to lose some things and forget some things. They want to get back on top of their game. So these are 5 really easy things to do. The first thing is making sure that you have the right type of diet. And everyone's been preaching to you about your diet for years and years and years. It helps your heart, it helps your body, it helps everything. Guess what? Still true. But now we've uncovered it and we've identified the different aspects of how it helps mental performance, cognitive performance. And a lot of the same things are true. Reduce sugary foods, salty foods, fatty foods, and replace them with things like fruits and vegetables. It's an easy first step. Skip the chips, replace with fruits and vegetables, and that's an easy thing to do. Let's start with that. Then you can rehaul the diet for the other things that you need, but that's a good first step. It helps to actually reduce the stress load on your brain by reducing inflammation, and that's a good thing. The second thing, making sure that you have physical exercise. Physical exercise is absolutely critical for the body to stay in good shape.
Critical.
Absolutely. There is no better medicine than physical exercise, and you can ask any physician about that. The ties in with body weight and illness are highly correlated. The ties within being in shape and being healthy through all diseases is highly correlated. You really can't beat that. I think that is the way to reduce your risk of any illness. But when it comes to brain health, again, that's one of the things that people look at in a new light. The key is that you have the blood flow that continues to circulate blood throughout the brain.
Okay.
It sort of acts, all the things in your blood work like a little bit of a road repair crew. They go and it fixes the potholes before they get too big, fixes the cracks in the asphalt before they become potholes. The blood flow is increased by cardiovascular exercise. And you don't have to go run a marathon. You can take a couple brisk walks around the block every week, and that's very, very helpful. So again, we're not training people to be triathletes, we're training people to get their brain in better shape. And physical exercise is a very valuable component. The third thing, mental exercise. A lot of things in the news recently about doing crossword puzzles or stimulating the brain. It's all very good advice, especially if you're not someone who is using your brain a whole lot in an active environment. People that might be living by themselves, maybe not stimulated as much.
The use it or lose it theory, right?
Exactly. You need to keep it exercised. Just like you need to exercise your body, otherwise your muscles will essentially start to waste. Your body knows what you want to make stronger. It can tell. By picking these other activities that are non-normal, it helps to strengthen other regions of the brain, but by strengthening something that's not normally used, it actually strengthens the whole thing. And that has to do with building new nerve networks and what are called neuronal networks. These are the spider webs of our memories. And the more strands we have in the spider web, the longer the memory is going to last. So if we were able to reinforce those and make them stronger and more numerous, it's going to help us from becoming forgetful. It's going to help keep our memories intact.
And we can develop new neuronal pathways? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You know, old teaching, I'd say wisdom, but it wasn't that wise.
No,
old teaching said that brain cells don't
Done,
regrow.
done, yeah.
And once they were dead, they were gone. That's just simply not the case. We've understood through a process called neurogenesis that new cells can regrow, new networks can be formed, and there's really, the brain has such a resiliency to regrow. Its number one goal is to stay alive.
Okay.
Your brain's on your side. You have to,
give
it. Yeah, you just have to give it, the ammunition to make that happen, and it will. Okay. So that's your third step. Making sure that you're doing some form of mental exercise. And if you are a hyper-stressed type A personality, the flip side's true for you. Relax. Take some of the stress load off the brain. So you have to find a middle ground. Depending on which person you are, you might have to relax, you might have to exercise a little bit more, somewhere in between. But the key thing is if you're having fun doing what you're doing, it can be both at the same time.
Okay.
The next thing is interesting research. It has to do with our friends and our family and the influence they have on our mental performance.
Yes.
Social networks. You probably read books about people and why they live longer, and how do they stay sharp longer.
Stay engaged.
Stay engaged. The time you spend with your friends and family is very valuable. The attributes that you can enjoy by being together, again, can be fun, it can be pleasurable, but it's absolutely essential, because if you become socially isolated, you have a much greater likelihood of doing worse with diseases like Alzheimer's. And if you have a strong social network, you actually are less likely to get diseases like Alzheimer's. So socially staying connected is good. It gives the family the opportunity to participate in the health of someone they're concerned about, because...
What's going on with the emotions and the memories in terms of the brain staying
Great question.
sharp?
The types of nerve networks that are grown when emotions are involved, and typically with our families, there's a lot of emotional involvement, they're stronger. If you think of them again as strands of the spider web, they're thicker.
Okay.
They're more resilient because the emotions help keep, your brain knows what's more important to keep. And the time you spent with your family is going to be more resounding as a memory than what was on my pizza last week. So
Okay.
you can look at that, and a lot of studies have shown that that's of great benefit to people.
Because of the emotional connection.
Absolutely.
So doing crossword puzzles is good to keep the brain
Absolutely.
sharp, but it's easily as beneficial to have these,
Do a crossword puzzle with a family member. That's the best of both worlds.
the best of both worlds.
You really do look and you see some of these things that you can tie together in your lifestyle, because they need to be easy. For people to start on them, they need to be easy. And if you said, well, you know what, I'm going to go with a friend on a walk with a picnic to the library. You've covered all four. You know, you have time to spend
Especially
socially.
if there's fruits and vegetables
Well,
in
if
the
you have
picnic
the right
basket.
things in the picnic basket, yeah, absolutely. So those are the things that are the starter points. The fifth item has to do with new research and new technology. And that's a way to help protect the brain and keep those brain cells alive longer. Because the goal is to keep everything running smoothly. Well, there's deficiencies that get created in the aging process. And there's a particular type of protein especially that's diminished as we grow older. It's called a calcium binding protein. Well, we know what causes the memory loss now. It's not a mystery, it's the loss of this protein. And as this
Okay.
happens, it's something that happens as we age. It's not your fault, it's no one else's fault.
Right, it's not a character defect.
Not at all, no, so don't be shy. It happens to all of us across the
Okay.
planet. We lose these proteins as we grow older, and that's why the brain slows. Providing a replacement protein helps the brain to get sharper and more focused and more, well, healthy.
Okay.
That's what we provide in a product we make called Prevagen. So we found an outside source of this protein, actually discovered it in a jellyfish, and now when taken by people, it's the next easiest step. So it's something to put in the picnic basket. It's something that you can see the results on, but you need to do
Okay.
all those aspects because, you know, dealing with the health of the brain is not just there's not just a magic bullet that does it and
Okay.
fixes everything. You need to do these things in combination. But you can have the best diet in the world. There's no other way to replace those proteins. You can do all the exercise in the world for your brain and your body, but if your brain's not able to regrow properly because it doesn't have the right elements, it's just, you're not going to fix it. So you need to do all these things in combination. That's why those 5 tips work so well for people.